Alright, just noticed on one of my daughter's vehicles the battery is corroding real bad. These are in terrible shape, they're all rusty and it's got this corrosion starting. So we're just going to do a quick clean of this. So one of the things is this stuff, when you spray on chemical to clean this and rinse it off, it can stain your pavement. So I would not recommend doing this on your driveway. So I'm going to start by removing the negative battery cable first. Most of these cables take a 10mm. Yeah, see, it's so rusty that even though I've loosened this, it's not even moving. This corrosion is terrible. Got this one. Alright, so I had to use a screwdriver to pry this a little bit to get this to separate. So you remove the negative terminal, then the positive terminal. You can see all that corrosion fall off this positive terminal right here. So anyway, what we're going to do here is I'll put links to everything in the description that I use. This is a CRC battery cleaner. And I'm trying to get all this, you know, these the terminals on the battery and the end of the cables on my car. And then there's even corrosion like on this bar that's holding it into the car. I'm not gonna go to the trouble of loosening like I was changing a battery. I'll do that next time I change the battery, but for now I'm just gonna spray it on the battery so that I can get all the corrosion on top of this battery that is there. And I'm wanting to really get, you know, in there where this I may be able to use a screwdriver, pry this apart a little bit so that I could, or just to get rid of some of it, I guess. Because yeah, it's really in between the bolts there. So yeah, just kind of letting this do the work, letting it sit there. You can see it change colors with the reaction it's getting. Okay, I'll let that sit. Says if any acid is present, foam will turn to pink, which I think we saw that a little bit. Says let it soak for a few minutes. Use wire brush to remove heavy deposits on terminals and protectors. Flush with water. Reapply to make sure that all acid has been removed and rinse again. Wipe dry with a cloth or paper towel. And says they also sell some protector that you can use after, but we have other things we're going to use for that. So I'm going to go ahead while it's working, and I'm just going to use a wire brush. I always use safety glasses, or glasses, because when you use a wire brush, you never know where stuff's going to fly a little bit. So right now I'm just doing, the battery terminals are easy to clean. I'm a little more worried about, you know, what stays with the car. These things here, because I don't want, okay, so at least I'm starting to see copper again, or the copper color. Trying to get down in there the best I can for what's inside. So really just using a wire brush on all this metal. I'm gonna spray it a little bit more because it's it's really like down underneath on this bottom side. I don't know why some batteries do this worse than others. I really don't know why that is, because I really never had a problem with this in my cars, with batteries getting like this. So I'm not sure what causes that. I kind of thought that the modern day batteries didn't still do this bad, but this one does. Notice I also have safety gloves on. I don't want this stuff on anything. I don't want it on my skin. It's very important to try and clean the inside. That's what's touching, you know, the terminal and giving you your connection. So it may not be perfect when we're done, but it'll be greatly improved where we won't have to worry about it, you know, the car not starting. That's what I'm concerned about for my daughter, is that her car wouldn't start, and instead of the battery being bad, it would just be as simple as having a dirty connection. So I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna go to the get the hose. So I got a hose ready. I went and advised using a powerful, I'm gonna go with the shower setting, and so that I don't blow that chemical around more than it needs to be, I'm gonna go ahead and wash the gloves off so that I can kind of clean up a little bit here before I spray, so that I can kind of get this stuff out of here. I don't want this stuff sitting here while I'm spraying that, so I'm gonna go ahead and move everything away. Alright, so now I'm just doing a, like I need to work on my hose a little bit. I'm just trying to rinse all this stuff off. I'm going to get all this surrounding area because I sprayed that over here. Cleaning the battery off where we sprayed. I'm going to go ahead and turn this upside down where we sprayed it from underneath. Okay. Again, I don't want this chemical sitting on anything, so I'm kind of spraying down there a little bit. We are not going to spray things a second time like the directions we're mentioning. I don't really want to go through that again, and we know that we got it extremely clean, so now we're going to grab a rag. And we're basically gonna just hand dry, like the top of the battery, the terminals right here. This is what the terminals are that I'm talking about. Gonna dry that. Gonna really put my finger inside of the hole of this cable. We want that dry, so use your little finger or something to kind of get that rag up in there where it's not going to be wet when we connect it. So on the battery, you remove your negative terminal first, then you remove your positive, and then when you put them back, you reverse the order, positive and then negative. So The negative is the first and last. So negative, positive, positive, negative. To go back. So that's the same for changing a battery. If you have a bad battery and you need to change it, you would undo the negative, then the positive, change your battery, and then hook up the positive and the negative. Alright, so we've got those wiped down. So now what we're going to do to try and help this be better, instead of just putting everything back, which you could do, there's a couple steps you can take. These are battery terminal protectors, corrosion preventative. These are very inexpensive. I'm going to put Amazon links to all this stuff that I'm using. They're just little pads. They're made for corrosion protection. You just put them on there. They have a little punch out thing that'll make this hole bigger. If your terminals are bigger than that, it's already pre-cut, but ours are the right size. So put those on. Then we take some of this Permatex dielectric grease. Okay, it's a special grease for conductive metals. Same thing used when people do stuff with electronics and everything. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna wipe it. We're gonna put it all over this, not super thick, but you know, not real worried about how thick it is. Just want a good coating on the terminal itself. So those pads are gonna help. This is gonna help. I'm gonna take some more, using about that much per application. I'm gonna get this negative terminal cover cable coated, and I'm also going to go back on where, like, the metal, all the metal here, because it was all corroded all around where the nut is, the whole thing. So we're gonna be generous, because this is, like I said, it's the worst one I've ever seen for a car that, you know, the 2015 Mazda CX-5, and it's 9 years old. But this obviously is probably the third or even the fourth battery, at least the second battery. But find that nowadays, if they go 3 years, you're doing really well. So it's probably the third, and may not have that much life left. So we might be doing this again to change it out before too long, but hopefully it'll be in good shape then. All right, so we got everything well coated. All right, so grease is obviously nasty to work with, so all we have left to do is put it back together. So positive first. They even got my socket all filthy with all that the corrosion is all over the socket. All right, so positive first. Let's put the positive back on there like that. This has been all bent. This terminal is kind of bent. The cable, it's bent upwards. Okay, we want a good connection. So you can tell we're 100% around it now. Okay, got a good connection there. This not going anywhere. I'm gonna cover that up with our cover. We cleaned inside the cover. Now we're gonna put our negative back on. Always want to do it where your nut is facing where you can get to it. So you want to orient that. You want to get it all the way down on there. Yeah, it's got grease on it, so always want these rags handy. Got that good and snug, it's not going anywhere. So this job is done. That's how you clean the corrosion off your battery. And so I hope this has been helpful. Check out the information in the video description. Thank you for watching.